You're listening to Convenience Matters, brought to you by NAX. We'll talk about what we see at stores and what the future may hold for our industry.
We've been to a lot of convenience stores over the years for ideas to go, but visiting the Pride stores was a first. For the first time, we went to a gas station that doubles as a brewery. That's what we're going to talk about today. Welcome to Convenience Matters. My name is Jeff Lenard with NAX.
And I'm Rose Johnson, also with NAX.
Today we're joined by Mario Spina. He is the owner and CEO of Parent Petroleum, which runs the Pride stores and a really cool brewery, among other things. So welcome and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
So before we dive into the suds and your food offer, can you just give us a little bit of an overview about Pride and Parent Petroleum?
Yeah, so Parent Petroleum is a wholesale distributor in the Chicagoland market. We distribute all the major brands, BP, Shell, Mobil, along with a few others, Citgo, Marathon. We have about 405 accounts that we service in the area. And we also have a convenience store side called the Pride Stores. So we have 15 stores in Chicagoland. We have one location we just purchased about a year ago in Dyer, Indiana. That'll be our first location outside Illinois. It hasn't been fully converted to a Pride yet, but we're working on that. And we also have 2 new builds scheduled for this year. I don't know if those are going to get in with construction and materials and everything else because all the craziness going on. So I don't even know if we're going to get both in this year. We're hoping at least get one. And then we also have a real estate side too that we do all of our own property management, buying and selling, leasing real estate, development, general contracting, and things of that nature. So,
when we first visited you for Ideas to Go a couple of years ago, it was for the food, and then you and the food is fantastic. It's really great burgers and
thank you.
Upscale fare. Can you talk a little bit about your 3 food concepts that you have that kind of sets you apart to begin with before launching a brewery?
Yeah, so we have 3 different food concepts. One is called Urban Counter. That was the first one we came up with. We call it an American fare restaurant. We do, everything's made to order. We do half-pound hand-pressed hamburgers. We got a blue cheeseburger where we have a bacon jam that we make in-house spread. Salads are all made to order. Our breakfast sandwiches are great. We do hand-churned milkshakes. It really can rival any burger or salad you're going to have out there, regardless of a gas station or just quick service restaurant. The food's fantastic. And then we had another concept that we came up with. So we wanted to have a couple different food concepts so that if someone's traveling and they see multiple Pride stores or Pride stores, 2 stores are close to each other, then they can experience different food offerings at each one. So it's not the same thing every time they go to a Pride. So the next one we came up with Taco Urbano. It's kind of our Mexican fare restaurant. Again, everything's made to order. It's actually pretty cool when you order chips. We fry them up fresh. We hand churn the guacamole, or we make the guacamole to order. So we just cut up the guac or the avocados and make them to order. All the meats, all the salsas we make in-house. So it's a really great offering as well. And then we have another concept called the Pride Cafe that we put into some restaurants that just don't have room for a hood. They don't have the parking. They just don't, it's a limited, or they just don't have the time where we just need to get people in and out really fast. So we do paninis, crepes, espresso drinks. Most of them have TCBY frozen yogurt. So those are kind of the 3 different concepts that we do throughout our stores. And then we also have a commissary at our Warrenville facility where we do a lot of the prep for some of the restaurants. We do all our own grab-and-go sandwiches. And we self-distribute them ourselves out of the warehouse. So.
And then you decided, okay, I have a lot on my plate. Let's start a brewery.
Yeah, see, it was. I was talking to somebody about this earlier, and they're like, how the heck did you come up with an idea to having a brewery inside, along with everything else you guys do? And it's like, we always joked around. I mean, how cool would it be if we brewed our own beer? We always thought, how cool would that be? How cool would that be if you brewed our own beer? Because we have a really great selection of craft beer at our convenience stores. We do heavy local. We just love craft beer, and we're always joking around like, how cool would that be if we brewed our own beer. And then we started thinking a little bit more serious about it. We're like, we had this place in St. Charles. We built a 5,000 square foot building. We put our urban counter and our kind of our own liquor store. It's called the Pride Beer and Wine Plus Spirits. And we left 1,000 square feet on the end in case we wanted to expand one of the offerings, or if we want to do a different concept there or something of that nature. And so we're like, we got 1,000 square feet here and it would be tight. So, but we might be able to do it. And so we started looking into equipment. And then fortunately for us, my cousin Chris is our head buyer, and now he runs the brewery, but he also owns a distillery up north in northern Illinois. So, it's not exact, the equipment, but it's very similar for brewing and distilling. And he understands the concepts of distribution and all the things you got to deal with in Illinois. And, we just started putting it together, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm not going to say it hasn't been challenges. Anytime you go into a new segment, it's different. You got new things that pop up that you didn't even imagine, but it's been a lot of fun. Yeah, I get a lot of people that look at me like, dude, you got so much other stuff going on. You think brewing beer, it's going to be one more avenue you want to get into. And overall, it's been great. It's just, anytime you start a new segment, it's always challenges, something different.
So, Mario, you're committed to convenience, having all these different offerings in one space. And you've mentioned in the past how getting gas is the least favorite thing for people to do. And that is one of my least favorite things to do. Right. I will drive home and park on E and say, I will wake up in the morning to get gas. Right. But you've made this an experience. So walk me through what one can expect when pulling up to one of your stores to get gas.
Well, so we try to do the basics like everyone should be doing, well-lit stores, clean, directionally, it's easy to get in and out. I mean, those are all the important things when you initially pull into a station. The challenge is always getting somebody out from the pumps inside the store. And, I still don't know if we cracked that egg or figured that out yet, but we're trying to get a little better at it. But if you go in any one of our locations, each one, we try to have the same feel in terms of aesthetics and design, but we want each store to be unique. So when you walk in, we want you to feel like you're in a Pride store, but we want you to also see that each one is slightly different and designed either for the area or whatever the offering is. And so we try to make everyone like a unique experience when you walk in. And we do hardwood flooring most of the time, which is actually vinyl, but it looks like hardwood. We do nice tile finishes on the walls, exposed brick on the walls, nicer lighting. And we try to just make it more of a warm experience when you walk in versus most convenience store offerings you see. I mean, the one thing I always, there's a lot of impressive. I look a lot to the outside of our industry versus inside our industry. There's not a lot of great things you can learn inside the industry, but I always like to see what other people are doing in other avenues. And that's one thing I was always impressed with Starbucks is you walk into Starbucks, and every Starbucks, you're in a Starbucks, but then every Starbucks is unique. I've never seen two Starbucks exactly the same. And I kind of wanted to try and do that for our stores as well. And what we also try to offer too is things that you might not see in other convenience stores. We try to do as many name brands as we can. Like I said, we make our own grab-and-go sandwiches, wraps, things of that nature. Our food offering, I love it when people come in and they see like a half-pound hand-pressed burger and they're like, that's coming out of the gas station? Like, I don't understand. And so it's fun to see that. But we also do our beer, wine, and spirits offering at our stores. We have one station that we go up to, and actually more than one now. We'll go up to $80, $90 a bottle of wine. And a lot of places you don't see that. We also, like that one of our stores actually sells 2 cases of wine a day plus, which is for a gas station, that's a lot. And one thing we started doing since we had our liquor store, Pride Beer and Wine Plus Spirits in St. Charles, which is located next door to the brewery, is we started doing bourbon barrel picks with certain distillers. So that's been a lot of fun because it's a unique bourbon barrel bottle of bourbon that you can't just get on a normal shelf or a normal. It's just not something like a standard bottle of bourbon you could buy. So, we partnered up with Knob Creek. just did Jack Daniel's single barrel. We just had some really nice journeymen, Traverse City, some local people, and also bigger names, where we have these Pride bourbon barrel picks where you got a bottle of bourbon with the Pride logo on it along with the logo of the distillery. So that's been a lot of fun too. We've been pushing that in a lot of our stores lately as well. So it's just not, our slogan is not your typical convenience store. So we really try to take that to heart. Like if somebody walks in, we really want a unique experience for them, and where they can see things you're not going to see at a convenience store typically. You might see it at a really nice liquor store. You might need to see it at a really nice freestanding quick service restaurant, but you're not going to see that all under one roof. So that's kind of what we try to do for all of our locations, that does the Pride flag.
I love that. I can walk in, I can fill up my tank, I can grab burgers for the family, and I can find some local or even small crafted bourbons that I can't find anywhere else. That's a win to me.
Yeah, and that's kind of the goal. That's kind of the goal. So one of our biggest problems is we have a lot of different avenues that we kind of tap into. Like one thing we started doing last year was we started making craft sodas, so that we put on draft. So we have craft sodas on draft, and then we also make our own cold brew coffee that we take in the nitro coffee at the store. So we make it at our commissary, we keg it, and then we put it on. We put draft systems in at, I think we have them in 6 stores now, and so we're selling handcrafted sodas. I mean, we have like a blackberry one. We'll do a kind of like a limeade one, and they're great. They're made with fresh ingredients and everything else. And one of the things we struggle with is we go into a lot of different directions. It's hard to really explain to people, well, these are all the things we do in one short little segment. But yeah, that's what we try to do, is make it a unique experience, make it fun. Somebody's gonna come in and they got to spend money to fill their tank. At least they can come in and do other things at that same time that'll provide some more enjoyment than just filling your gas or filling your tank with gas.
And then on top of that, you also have events. You have live music sometimes.
Yeah, at our brewery we do. Yeah, so we have live music on Thursdays and Saturdays during the day, which has been great. The brewery, so when we first built the brewery, we only had 1,000 square feet of space, and it was tight. And the tap room only had 20 seats in it. So what we did is we expanded the building to the west and doubled the size of the brew house, and then added permanent outdoor seating in front of the expansion. That's a covered roof. We actually enclosed it with vinyl panels for the winter, so we were able to utilize the space all year round. So we went from having only 20 seats to having 62 from outdoor and indoor. So that allowed us to do even more events and some other fun things besides just the live music. We had ESPN Radio out for a live broadcast one day, and we did we did like an Oktoberfest event too, which was a lot of fun. And so it's allowed us to do some fun things that the brewery's allowed us to do a lot more fun things than we've been able to do just typically out of a gas station convenience store.
You've used the phrase fun a couple times, or that's not a phrase, it's a word. Yeah. But you can see that when you go to your store, and sometimes it's a little subtle thing, like the sign for the car wash at the store we visited doesn't say car wash. It says dirty cars, and with an arrow. So it's those kind of things, I think, that also washing a car may not be all that much fun, but kind of reinforce that we can have fun in life. And if you think through that lens, you can get a customer.
Yeah, that's kind of what we hope. Because again, it's, as you said, Rose, nobody wakes up in the morning and be like, this is awesome, I got to fill up my tank with gas. I mean, nobody ever gets excited for that. So we can figure out a way where, all right, I got to fill up with gas, but you know what, I might as well go to the Pride, because then I can also get a burger. I can also get a nice bottle of wine. I could get a 4-pack of beer, 6-pack of beer. Then hopefully we got something. So, that's kind of the goal. And also too, what we try to do, which is a little bit different, anything we do, we try to do it just as good, if not better, than anyone else in that industry. So, we don't really try to measure ourselves in our food offering compared to other convenience stores. We try to measure ourselves against other, burger places that are in our market, that are quick serve restaurants. And if we want to do something, we want to try and do it just as good, if not better, than anyone else out there in that segment. And that was one of our biggest concerns with opening a brewery, is we wanted to make sure that if we're going to open a brewery, we want to make really good beer. And, that competes with anybody else out there at an affordable price. and make a real high quality product, which lately we've been killing it. We've been making some really good beer. So that's also the challenge too, is to make sure that, you're doing things just as good as anyone else out there.
And to that point, one would think, why would someone that is in the convenience store and gas industry even want to open a brewery? Why would you want to compete in that space? But you have recently been named top 5 best breweries in Chicago suburbs out of over 200 breweries. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And I forwarded that article to Jeff. I'm like, this is pretty fun. So that was pretty cool to see. There's a lot of great craft breweries, local breweries in our marketplace, and in those suburbs too. A lot of great breweries in Chicago as well, but just to even be on the list was awesome. It was pretty cool.
So talk a little bit about the beers. You provide anybody that wants to hang out, see music on certain nights, can hang out on a stool, or there's tables. And then you also can. So as far as I know, I don't know of any other gas station brewery, and I don't know of any gas station that is canning on any level beverages in the facility, let alone beer. So talk about the whole concept. It's not just a brewery that's at that gas station. You're using the beer that's brewed there and canned there with other accounts as well.
Oh yeah. So we used to use a mobile canning line where they brought in the canning line from outside and they canned on site. So we purchased our own canning line. I think it was middle of last year, and so we started canning our own beer, which has been awesome. So that not only can we we have a little bit more control of the canning aspect of it. The mobile canning line business is just a crazy business because craft beer is such a boom that you got to schedule your canning dates like a month or like 2 months out, and it really kind of pigeonholes you if you want to be a little bit more nimble and switch things up. And so to get our own canning line was huge because it allowed us to can whenever we had beer. And so we're in over 200 accounts right now, and we want to continue to grow. So we service a lot more than just our Pride stores, which is nice. So it's been great to be able to can though on our own because it's just given us so much more flexibility. But you come in and it's a packaging facility, process facility in the back, and then we have this, like I said, we have 32 seats outside, 32 seats inside, and right now we have 12 beers on draft. We're in the process of adding 4 more tapper handles. We just need the space. We're going to start bringing in some other specialty stuff we want to start doing, and we just don't have the room right now. So we're going to be adding 4 more tapper heads, which is going to be exciting. And we got some really great beer, whether you're looking for, anything you're looking for, IPAs. We got a Kolsch coming out now for the summertime. And every beer that we make, because the brewery is called 93 Octane, so it looks like the button on a pump. And every beer we make, we try to somehow tie into either like fuel or oil or cars or something like that. Like our coffee porter is called Turbo. We have our wheat ale is called Hugger Whip, which kind of does a play on the Hugger orange color for classic motor or classic muscle cars. And all of our stouts are named after oil. So we have a 10W30 stout, which is kind of a lower alcohol stout, and we have an imperial stout that's called 20W50. And so we try to tie in, have fun with it, tie in the names of the beer with like the oil or gas or cars or something of that nature. So, it's you want to come and sit down and have a drink, you can, and then you can order food from every counter. If you want to grab a 4-pack to go, you definitely can as well. So.
And I think with the uniqueness of your offerings and the way that you name your beers and things like that, I would imagine it goes over well, like on social media, everyone, wanting to be the first ones to say, oh, look what's out here, and helping you in promotions in that way.
Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, it's actually kind of cool when people see, like, I remember a friend of mine's father was a big muscle car guy, and he saw the Hugger Whip on there, and he's like, oh my God, that's the Hugger orange color from the motor. I had a car that was that orange. And so it's been kind of fun, when we get some names out there and people Like we have a beer that's a cream ale that it tastes like a vanilla cupcake or like a piece of vanilla cake. We call it clown car, and we have like a clown on top of a car driving around. That's been fun too. It's cool when somebody sees it and they post something online and you get the reviews on it. It's been fun. Yeah, it's because most of the time if someone's posted something about a gas station, it's usually not positive.
Right.
So it's fun with the beer aspect of it because you get a lot of people get excited for craft beer. So it's been a different dynamic that's been pretty fun.
And with sorry, go ahead.
No, you go, Rose.
Yeah. So with all of this that you're growing, you're constantly coming up with new ideas, looking at other industries to get ideas. You still have time to also give back. I know that you work with charities to give them exposure, and then you also participated in Folds of Honor Beer. Can you talk to those a little bit?
Yeah, so we support a lot of different charities throughout the year. We'll do spirit pumps for local charities or local schools where we give a portion of every gallon sold at one specific dispenser to that either school or charity. We have three main charities that we support year round. One is CASA, which helps underprivileged kids, and then another one is Living Well, which gives free cancer support to individuals dealing with cancer. And Folds of Honor is another one that we support as well. So for Folds, we give a portion of every cup of coffee we sell goes to Folds of Honor. And then we also make a beer called Wingman. So the individual that started Folds of Honor was a pilot in the military. So we took the jet that he flew in service, and then we had it redrawn in the can. So we give a portion of every 4-pack sold of Wingman back to Folds of Honor. And for Living Well, which is cancer support, which is in Geneva. It's a great organization. We give a portion of every gallon of gas sold at every Pride store back to them every year. They're just a great charity to work with. So yeah, we work with them. We do spirit pumps at other locations. Actually, our grab and go offering. So we give a portion of every grab and go item that we sell out of our coolers back to CASA, King County. So I love trying to tie in certain items that we sell to that charity, because then we're able to post signs about the charity. I think people feel good if they're buying something, they know it goes to support a bigger cause. And then also, we put signage for that charity in the areas where you can buy the products, so that it gives a lot of exposure to those charities where somebody can come up and see, maybe they didn't know, they never heard of Folds of Honor, and now they'll be able to find out more information on it. So we like the exposure it gives them, not only in terms of not only the funds. And it's fun tying it in with a certain sale aspect, so people can feel like they're giving back just because they're buying a cup of coffee. So,
and I would imagine that that's particularly important now with higher gas prices. And in the April Next magazine, we have a cover story looking at what consumers are saying about gas prices and retail. And the one thing that struck me most was there was a question we always ask. Would you drive 5 minutes out of your way to save 5 cents a gallon? And no surprise, 64% said they would. But 74%, 10% more, said that they would drive 5 minutes out of their way to go to the store they like. And I think that pretty much sums up your offer in these times. It's how do you make it fun? Like what Rose was saying earlier, because nobody likes buying gas. And I wouldn't do what she does. I wouldn't wait until the next morning to fill it up.
Living on the edge.
I would use my wife's car and then switch over to one that has more fuel or something like that when I need it. Make it somebody else's problem, not my problem the next day. But that's really, I think, at the essence of what you do, where it's make them want to drive out of their way for the experience, for the fun, and because they believe in you.
And that's always what we try to do, and that's what we hope to accomplish by doing this. Is not only makes it fun for your customers, but also your staff and everyone that works for the Pride and it's part of the team. And we always say, like, our goal is that hopefully we run our store so well and we have such a unique and fun offering for the customers that even if we're a few cents higher than competitor down the street, they're still going to come up and fill up and get gas and then purchase other items. It's always the goal, because sometimes you're not going to be able to be the cheapest on the street or within a few pennies of the cheapest on the street. So you hope that your offering is so good that people will still come to you, even if they got to pay 3, 4, 5, 6 cents more a gallon. And I know that can be a challenge sometimes because, again, nobody likes to buy gas and everyone's watching their budgets. But, if hopefully you have such a great offer that people don't mind paying that little extra funds every once in a while. Because we try to be as competitive as we can and be even with the cheapest on the street at all times if possible. Sometimes we just can't do it. And so we hope that people realize that we usually are priced well, but every once in a while it might be a little higher and they still come. That's kind of the goal. That's at least what we're striving for, at least every day.
Yeah, value is definitely important. And as the survey showed, people will pay for value. And I cannot wait to see what y'all come up with next, Mario. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
No, I appreciate you guys allowing me to talk.
Well, one other quick thing before we let you go. We have introduced trivia over the... There you go. See? And it's multiple choice. We promise it will be painless. And we have a trivia question for you based around what we've been talking about, beer. What was the first light beer? I'll give you 4 choices. Coors Light, Miller Lite, Bud Light, or Gablinger's Diet Beer?
Well, I never heard of Gablinger's. I'm pretty sure Miller Lite was before. I know Miller Lite was before Bud Light, and I'm pretty sure it was before Coors Light. I think Bud Light was the last of the 3. But I don't know about I'd probably have to say Miller Lite.
Coors Light. Coors Light was briefly introduced in the 1940s.
Okay.
And it was considered the first, even though it didn't have mass rollout till 1978.
Oh. Wow.
And I'm pretty sure Gablinger's, that's kind of like the red herring. You throw that out there because people it has to be that. But that was invented.
I didn't know.
Yeah, that was invented by a biochemist at Rheingold in the 60s and was eventually reintroduced as Meisterbrau Light. So there you go.
Okay. Well, Jeff, we didn't give him a chance to phone a friend to make sure his answer was correct. He was close. Maybe we could give it to him still.
Oh, yeah, you get the prize.
I'll take whatever I can get. So.
Well, thank you again for joining us today and having some fun there with the trivia. Go visit one of his stores. There's one, too bad the NAC show isn't in Chicago this year because there's one Pride store within walking distance of McCormick. But they are in the Chicagoland area. Please visit them. And you can see the entire Ideas to Go video that we have at convenience.org/ideas2go. And if you want to subscribe to podcasts, please do so. I think you'll learn something every week about our industry and how to get better and hear from industry leaders like you, Mario. So thank you for joining us.
I appreciate it again for having me. Rose, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Mario. I cannot wait to visit one of your stores. Maybe Jeff will take me with him.
Convenience Matters is brought to you by NACS and produced in partnership with Human Factor. For more information, visit convenience.org.